Hi friends, welcome to all. In this video we are going to solve this packet tracer activity point to point single area OSPF v2 configuration. Before coming to this activity, friends, if you like to get any CCNA version 7 online classes or any project support, you can contact our team using our website. Link you will get from the description below. And also, if you like to get these type of technical videos in future, consider subscribing, and don't forget to enable that bell icon near to the subscribe button so that you will get notification message whenever we upload a new video. Okay, coming back to this packet tracer activity, here we can see addressing table. Also, we will go through the objectives. Part 1, configure router IDs. Part 2, configure networks for OSPF routing. Then part 3, configure passive interfaces. Then in part 4, verify OSPF configuration. Background. In this activity, we will activate OSPF routing using network statements and wildcard masks. Configuring OSPF routing on interfaces and by using network statements quad 0 mask. In addition, we will configure explicit router IDs and passive interfaces. Okay, we will configure this open shortest path first routing. So here we can see the instructions. Part 1, configure router IDs. Start the OSPF routing process on all three routers. Use process ID 10. So here they given the syntax for that. Router OSPF, then specify the process ID. We have to give it 10. Then use the router ID command to set the OSPF IDs of the three routers as follows. For R1 we have to set this router ID. Then for R2, also for this R3. Then use the following command, router ID space, then we have to specify, we have to give this ID. And we can see this router ID is always given as an IPv4 address, right? So we will go to R1. Enable conft, that is configure terminal, and here we are going to give a router OSPF, and here the specified process ID should be given as a 10. Okay, so here I will put a question mark, and we can see process ID we will give 10. Now we will set the router ID. For this R1 we have to set, it's here, yeah, 1.1.1.1 space 1.1.1.1. yeah. Next we will go to R2. Enable conft. Actually here I am giving short commands, otherwise we can give enable. Okay, the entire command we can type. Even here we can give configure terminal. So this is the shortest command what I am using. Here we will give router OSPF 10, and we will set the router ID 2.2.2.2. Then we will go to R3. Enable conft, and here we will give a router OSPF 10, router ID 3.3.3.3. Coming to part 2, configure networks for OSPF routing. Step 1, configure networks for OSPF routing using network commands and wildcard masks. How many statements are required to configure OSPF to route all the networks attached to the router R1? Coming to this topology, here we can see our router R1, and we have these three directly connected networks. We can see one is going to this LAN 1, that is G000, and here we can see one is going to R2, and here is one is going to R3. The LAN attached to router R1 has a /24 mask. So here we can see that. from R1 which is connected to this LAN 1. What is the equivalent of this mask in dotted decimal representation? Yeah, we know that slash 24 means it's 255.255.255.0. Then subtract the dotted decimal subnet mask from 255.255.255.255. What is the result? Yeah, we will get 0.0.0.255. What is the dotted decimal equivalent of the slash 30 subnet mask? Slash 30, that means 255.255.255.252. Then subtract the dotted decimal representation of the slash 30 mask from 255.255.255.255. What is the result? We get 0.0.0.3. Configure the routing process on R1 with the network statements and wildcard masks that are required to activate OSPF routing for all the attached networks. The network statement values should be the network or subnet addresses of the configured networks. So here they given the command syntax: network, then we have to specify the network address, then wildcard mask, area, then area ID. Then verify that OSPF has been configured properly by the displaying the running configuration. If you find an error, delete the network statement using the no command and reconfigure it. Okay, we will configure the routing process on R1 with the network statements and its wildcard bits or its area. We will go to R1 and we will see how to do that. Just I will exit. I think not required. Already we are in a config router, right? So here I will give a command do show IP route connected, so that we can see all the connected networks in this router R1. So very easily we can configure the network, right? So we'll give this command, and here we can see those 3 directly connected networks. Now we will give the command network, and we will give this network first. It's 10.1.1.0. Then we have to give its wildcard 0.0.0.3. Then we have to specify the area. We'll give 0. Then we will go to network. We will give this, that is 10.1.1.4. Then wildcard bit 0.0.0.3. Area 0. Okay. Then coming to the third network, 192.168.10.0/24, 192.168.10.0, 0.0.0.255, area 0. We will give end. We will verify this configuration using show running config. So you can press a space bar, and here we can see router OSPF10, router ID is here, and we can see the network we given. In step 2, configure networks for OSPF routing using interface IP addresses and quad 0 masks. That means we have to give all the zeros, right, in wildcard, right? On router R2, configure OSPF using network commands with the IP addresses of the interfaces and quad 0 masks. The syntax of the network command is the same as was used above. So just keep in mind here we are going to configure the networks for OSPF routing using interface IP address, not network address. Okay, we will give interface IP address, then we will give a quad 0 mask. Then we will configure these networks for OSPF routing. We will do this configuration coming to R2. Enable conf T, and we will go to router OSPF10, and again here we will give the command do show IP route. Then we will give the network. Here we can see the connected networks. Also we can see that interface IP address. So L is for a local, that's fine. We will give a network. Then we will give this interface IP address. Just I will copy this. I think copy it won't work here, so just I will type it 10.1.1.2. Then we will give a wildcard masks quad 0 0.0.0.0, then area 0. Next we will give this network, then the address is okay. Here we can see loading to full, loading done. Okay, so whenever you get this message, you just press a tab button from the keyboard. Okay, network, then we will give this, it's 10.1.1.9, then quad 0, area 0. Then we will give this 192.168.20.1, 192.168.20.1, 0.0.0.0, area 0. Just we will end show running config, and here we can see a router OSPF10 router ID, and we can see network IP address quad 0 and its area. We given for the all three directly connected networks. Now coming to step 3, configure OSPF routing on a router interfaces. That means we have to go to each interface and we have to configure OSPF. Okay, on router R3, configure the required interfaces with the OSPF. Which interfaces on R3 should be configured with OSPF? Coming to our topology, here we can see our router R3, and R3 has these interfaces. Let me see, this is gigabit Ethernet 0/0/0. This is a serial 0/1/0, and we have one more here, serial 0/1/1. Configure each interface using the command syntax shown below. We have to use this syntax IP. We have to go to that interface. Okay, then IP OSPF process ID area, then area ID. First of all, we will go to this interface G0/0/0. Coming to this R3, enable conf t. We will go to that interface, that is G0/0/0. Then we will give the command IP OSPF process ID is 10, area is 0. Next we will go to the interface serial 010, interface serial 010, and here we will give IP OSPF 10, area 0. Then next we will go to serial 011. Okay, here we received a message, neighbor 2222 on serial 010 from loading to full, loading done. Okay, that's fine. So here we will go to interface serial 0/1/1, and here we will give IP OSPF 10, area 0. Okay, we can verify it. Just I will give end show running config, yeah, and we have to check with those interfaces. Here we can see interface G0/0/0, and we given this command IP OSPF 10, area 0. Then coming to serial 010, IP OSPF 10, area 0, and coming to this interface serial 0/1/1, IP OSPF 10, area 0. That's fine. Now we will go to part 3, configure passive interfaces. OSPF will send its protocol traffic out of all interfaces that are participating in the OSPF process on links that are not configured to other networks such as LANs. This unnecessary traffic consumes resources. The passive interface command will prevent the OSPF process from sending unnecessary routing protocol traffic out LAN interfaces. Which interfaces on R1, R2 and R3 are a LAN interfaces? Okay, coming to our topology, we can see here is R1, and we can see LAN 1, which is connected to this port G0/0/0 in this R1. So we can make this port as passive interface. Then coming to R2, here we can see the port. This is also G0/0/0 where LAN 2 is connected. Then coming to R3, this is also G0/0/0. Configure the OSPF process on each of the three routers with the passive interface command. We have to give passive-interface, then the interface name. We have to go to that OSPF and we have to do that. So we'll go to R1, enable conft router OSPF 10, and here we can set that passive interface. It's a G0/0/0, right? Close it, then we will go to R2, conft router OSPF 10, sorry, it's OSPF 10. Then we have to give passive interface G0/0/0. Then we will go to R3, conft, then router OSPF 10. Then we will give a passive interface G0/0/0. Coming to the last part, part 4, verify OSPF configuration. Use show commands to verify the network and passive interface configuration of the OSPF process on each router. We have many show commands to verify this OSPF configuration. Not many means, just we will go to R1. We can use end show running config. Here we can see all the configuration, right? Here we can see router ID, passive interface, and other information. Also, we can verify a routing table, show IP route, and here we can see this O, remote network, learned with the help of this protocol OSPF. Also, we have other show commands. Let me verify. Show IP OSPF. We put question mark here. We can see many commands like border routers, database, interface, neighbor, then virtual links. If you go to interface, let me give your interface, and we can specify. Just I will put a question mark. Then we can give any interface on R1. We will give this serial 010. Okay, serial 010. Then we'll press enter and we can see the details here. We can see this interface is up, line protocol also up, and the internet address is here, area is 0, process ID is 10, router ID is 1.1.1.1, and we can see cost is 64. Then okay, adjacent with the neighbor, okay, that's fine. We will verify in other router. We will go to R2, end show running config, and here we can see network we given quad 0. Also we can see passive interface, show IP route, we can see only OSPF. Okay, also we can give show IP OSPF, we can give interface Let me give a serial 0/1/1, and here we can see the detail. Cost is 64. That's fine. Yep. We will go to R3 and show running config. I think show running config already be given. I will give a show IP route, and here we can see OSPF for routes. Also we will try show IP OSPF interface serial 0/1/1. Let me check this interface. Internet address, area, process ID, cost is 64. Okay. Here they did not specify to check the connectivity. Okay, anyways, let me try it. So just I will send a message from this PC to this PC, and we can see it's successful. I will try from this PC to this PC. It's failed, no problem. We will try once more. Yes, it's successful. Now we will send from this PC to this PC. Yes. Okay, so friends, in this video we solved this packet tracer activity point to point single area OSPF v2 configuration, and here we can see our completion status for this activity. It's 100%. Now dear friends, if you have any doubt, any suggestions regarding this packet tracer activity, please comment below, or you can contact our team using our website. Link you will get from the description below. And if you like our video, don't forget to give a thumb, and also you can share with all your friends. Stay tuned, and we will meet again with the next video. Thank you.